Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. McKenzie was unable to attend the meeting, so I'll be going through the meeting agenda today. I would like to call the March 11th, 2021 Real Estate Board meeting to order. We will begin with a roll call of the board members in attendance. I'll call your name, and you can respond if you are present. So Neil Garfinkel.
Present.
Amanda Basin. Dale Burnett. Edwin Clark.
Present.
David Dorkin.
Present.
Sandra Erickson.
Present.
Trisha O'Connor. Diane Ramirez.
Present.
Greg Weston.
Present.
Okay, Dave Mossberg, can you confirm whether that allows a quorum or not?
So I counted 6 board members plus the secretary's representative. So that should be 7. So 7 is what we need for a quorum.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Okay, so the first item is the approval of the December 14th, 2020 meeting summary. Did everybody get a chance to look at that? And can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the meeting summary is approved. We'll go to the next agenda item is the department subcommittee reports. We'll start with the enforcement report. John Goldman.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm here. For this meeting's enforcement report, I thought I'd kind of piggyback on the information I had discussed during last meeting's report to a certain degree. That being the Newsday cases, which I think by now most folks, I would certainly imagine most folks on the board are aware of. It's also been highly publicized, at least in the New York City downstate area, Nassau, Suffolk counties in particular. Just in summary, Newsday ran a story in the fall of 2019 that alleged a pattern of discriminatory behavior by the real estate industry in Nassau and Suffolk as it relates to their interaction and dealing with minority home buyers in comparison to white home buyers, utilizing some testing techniques, and it garnered a lot of attention from the media and obviously drew the attention of the state, and the state initiated a process to conduct our own investigations relevant to Newsday's findings, which we've been actively doing for quite some time now. I had mentioned during this month's report that this situation involved 79 licensees. It recently has increased to one, and that we identified an additional broker of record of one of the firms that sponsored some of the agents involved in the story. So the total number of licensees simply has increased because of that recognition by 1 to a total of 80. Here we are a little bit less than a year and a half later. There are 5 hearings have already been held alleging malpractice by these agents relevant to the Newsday story. One is actually being held as we speak today, so that we'll call that 6. There are 10 others scheduled. So from a purely statistical standpoint, we're almost at about the 25% mark, meaning 15 in the disciplinary process relevant to being charges being filed and brought before an administrative law judge. So like I said, from a statistical standpoint, we're at about the quarter mark. And those, we have legal folks who are assigned to these things, and those numbers are increasing weekly in terms of hearings scheduled and the disciplinary proceeding being brought before an ALJ who will render a decision. The other item I wanted to piggyback on, because it's somewhat relevant to everyone's world, which is the executive orders and the limitations on practice. We continue to receive fewer and fewer executive order complaints, meaning allegations from a variety of sources of people in the industry not adhering to executive orders relevant to real estate practice, the mask wearing, open house limitations, showing limitations, et cetera. So obviously we view that as a good sign that the industry is continuing to adhere to the executive order limitations, so it does not, and the state does not need to get involved. It appears as if the industry is certainly self-regulating and self-relevant to those requirements, those limitations. Hopefully by the next time we have our next meeting, it will not even be a thought. It'll be in the past. The other thing I was asked to mention by our director, there was some concern brought up relevant to the way in which the department communicates the outcome of investigations. And so the department's process, the procedure is when a complaint is filed, the investigation runs its course, that we communicate with the parties, meaning the complainant and the respondent. If the allegation against an agent, that would include the principal brokers of that agent. We communicate effectively as to what the outcome of that case is, and it's a split fork road. It's going to go in one of two directions, meaning the case is closed and the department has opted not to pursue any action, or we feel that there is sufficient cause to refer it to our legal department. And so there's been some concern about the effectiveness, whether we have been communicating effectively to both complainants and respondents, the industry, as to outcome. So we've revisited that issue. We've initiated and put in steps to ensure that the outcome of cases are adequately reported to the players involved. So I was just asked to reinforce to the board that that is, of course, policy, that we do communicate to folks involved in a complaint, complainants and respondents, the people accused, as to what the outcome of those investigations are. Of course, like everything in the world, things sometimes fall through the cracks, but we've initiated or reinitiated and communicated with the appropriate staff that that's a necessary step as an enforcement case goes through the system. That's the extent of my report this afternoon.
Thank you, John. Does anybody have any questions for John? Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next agenda item. It's a processing report. Emily Lupi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Included in the materials you were provided is a report of the number of current real estate licensees for February of 2020 and February of 2021. The report groups licensees into broker and branch office licenses and salesperson licenses. The totals are listed by county. The 2021 numbers include only licensees and do not include those licensees whose licenses may have expired and are covered by Executive Order 202.11, which allows individuals licensed by the Department of State to extend the expiration of their license during the state of emergency. And that concludes the processing report.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.
Is there any questions? Is there any questions for Emily on her report? Okay, so we'll move on to the education report. Marcella Rose.
Good afternoon. To date, 27 schools have submitted continuing education course applications and been approved to offer the 2.5 hours of ethical business practice topics. 23 schools have submitted continuing education course applications and been approved to offer the 1 hour of recent legal matters topics. These courses allow licensees the ability to satisfy the continuing education requirement, which goes into effect on July 1st, 2021. 17 of those schools have applied and received approval to offer these courses via live distance education, which allows licensees flexibility in obtaining their continuing education requirements. This concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Thanks, Marcy, for that information.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll move on to the examination report. Shannon McGuire. Shannon, it looks like you're on mute still.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we
Hello?
can hear you.
Okay. All right. So good afternoon. In 2020, the Department of State administered the real estate salesperson examination to 17,643 exam applicants with a pass rate of 59%. The real estate broker exam was administered to 1,464 exam applicants with a pass rate of 65%. These numbers are down from previous years due to the COVID-19 shutdown from March to August of 2020. The Department of State is continuing to administer an exam following the COVID-19 precautions. This includes, but is not limited to, reduced capacity, seating of 6 feet apart, requiring a face mask, and COVID-19 screening questions for examinees. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions for Shannon on our exam?
Shannon, David Dworkin. I'm sorry, what period was that over, did you say?
That was 2020, so January to December of 2020.
Thank you.
Okay, so that concludes our department reports. We'll move on to new business. Executive order update. Dave Mossberg.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So I'm just going to give a brief update on the executive orders that we've all been operating under, one of which was the one previously referred to regarding the extension of the licenses. That was EO 202.11. That was continued again, good through March 28, 2021. Obviously, if there are any changes in that order, the department will make a change to our website and likely inform our licensees. The other EO that has been particularly helpful and relied upon in the industry was EO 202.7, which concerns the electronic notarization of documents. That EO again has been extended similarly to March 28, 2021. And the department is continuing to update our websites accordingly. If there are any changes, I'm sure it'll be posted there. But that is the EO update. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Any questions for Dave? Okay, so last item on the agenda is the next meeting date. Denise, do you want to talk about that?
Hi, yes, I just wanted to remind everyone that the next time we will be meeting will be Thursday, July 22nd at 1 p.m. And if you have any agenda items that you think of between now and then, please feel free to submit them to us. You can send them to my email. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Denise. So we're done with the agenda. So, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll give the motion. I'll second it, Sandra.
All those in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The meeting's been adjourned. Everybody go out and have a nice day. It's beautiful out.
Thank you.
So thank you all for attending. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, everybody.
You too.